Phosphor Dot Friends, Earl at thelogbook.com, back to play the original Ms. Pac-Man. I'm kind of amazed that I haven't played this already as a Phosphor Dot Fossils video for YouTube, but kind of part of what I'm going to be doing in the month of April is going in and filling some of these surprising gaps, stuff that you would think I would have played, but for whatever reason, because I had latched on to obscurity as a theme or what have you, I hadn't gotten around to playing it. Now, here's the really weird thing, because human memory is kind of a tricky thing. I can tell you with some certainty that I am going to be playing Ms. Pac-Man in this video, and you will be seeing this video 40 years and 1 day after I first played Ms. Pac-Man. Now, if you're wondering how on earth I am that certain of the date, well, like I said, human memory is a funny thing. It's very fallible. It's very malleable. It's not something that your brain actually has the room to hang on to in great detail, but some stuff gets burned in because of the intensity of it. And so I can tell you with great certainty that I first played Ms. Pac-Man on April the 3rd, 1982, because of what happened later that day. So let's kind of back into this and do the detective work. After my mother and I left the arcade, we were driving home and it was already on the radio that there was a tornado watch and that it might get really bad that evening. And indeed it did. I remember this distinctly because we actually had to go down to our basement at one point because a tornado warning had been issued. The sirens were going off. And there was a specific room that, was kind of the tornado shelter room in our basement. But it had a window in it, paradoxically. The window was behind a fairly high hedge of, kind of sticker bushes. But, civilized sticker bushes, not just wild bramble or anything like that. And the hail outside was severe enough, was large enough, that when we opened the door to that room where we normally would take shelter in tornado season, the window had been broken. The window had been knocked out, and there was a piece of hail the size of a baseball sitting in the floor. And so obviously it was, oh crap, our tornado shelter room is not going to afford us much shelter. And I remember at that point, both my mom and I kind of freaked out a little bit. And I think that is what burns the date into my memory. Because I went back, obviously Ms. Pac-Man came out in 1982. According to Wikipedia, it came out January of 1982. But as with a lot of things, it took a while for stuff to land in Fort Smith, Arkansas that had already landed in other larger parts of the country. There's a whole website devoted to tracking the premiere dates via newspaper vintage newspaper listings of when Star Wars premiered in various areas. And so as much as I'd like to, hew to the storyline that, on May 25th, 1977, my life changed forever. No, it changed somewhere in mid-April. August, mid-August. Because it took that long for Star Wars to land in a theater in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And this was sort of the same thing. The arcade in question was Games R Us, which was over in a little strip mall next to Central Mall in Fort Smith, over behind what is now a Burger King. I'm assuming the Burger King is still there. I actually haven't been to Fort Smith in quite a while. Yeah, I am back in Arkansas, but I haven't been back to Fort Smith in ages. And in fact, I remember that there is now I believe that space is now occupied by a bridal and formal wear business. Bizarrely enough, for a place that I used to put on shorts and go hang out with either my older brother or occasionally my mom. I remember I was with my mom specifically because, she and I were on the drive home listening to the radio. But I also remember that, there was... Ms. Pac-Man was a very new game. And if I'm not mistaken, this may actually be the first day that arcade had it out on the floor, because they probably had radio ads about that, and so I probably bugged her about going to play it, tug at her sleeve, because I was still a kid. And I remember that there were a lot of guys crowded around trying to play this game. And my mother, being kind of a subversive personality, I have no idea where I got that trait. She would flutter her eyelashes. Oh, I don't know how to play this game. Can you show me? And, a two-player game would commence, and then she would proceed to absolutely smoke whoever had gone up against her, thinking that they were going to impress, this 40-year-old woman. You would have to have known my mom. This was the sort of thing that she liked to do when she could tell the people were completely underestimating her. She was actually quite good at it. I don't remember her ever really actively being a Pac-Man player, but she took to Ms. Pac-Man like a duck takes to something a duck likes a whole lot. Which I think speaks to the cultural power of a game coming forth and saying, okay, the player is a female character. All of a sudden, you had interest from people who weren't normally interested in playing video games. So anyway, let me make sure I've got some sound here, and we will see if I'm anywhere near as good as my mom was at this game. Oh, okay, that would be a no. Oh, no, I don't want to try to eat you after all. Not until I do this. Oh. Ghosts have each other's backs. I don't like that. Should be every ghost for themselves. It's worth noting that, in addition to making it clear that the player was controlling a female character, one of the ghosts was also... the name was changed to Sue. So one of the ghosts was also female. There we go. Oh, no. All right. That was lucky. That, however, was not. Oh. So anyway, to try to triangulate the date on which all of this would have had to take place, I went looking up major tornado outbreaks in 1982 because I remember this was a fairly big event. Like I said, they were they were forecasting it to be a widespread severe weather event. And according to Wikipedia, there was a tornado outbreak on Friday, April 2nd and Saturday, April 3rd, 1982. So this would have been the Saturday. This would have been April the 3rd, 1982, that we went to the arcade and saw Ms. Pac-Man for the first time. And in fact, another interesting tidbit that I discovered was that during this event was the first time that the National Severe Storms Forecast Center had ever issued a tornado watch designated as a particularly dangerous situation, which now that's not uncommon wording to find in a tornado watch or sometimes a severe thunderstorm watch. It's more commonly associated with tornado watches, but a PDS tornado watch, as they call it now, because it's become that frequent an event. This was the first one where they had confidence high enough that this was going to be really bad to include that extra wording in their forecast. So it's a weird thing. This is a very Tornado Alley upbringing kind of thing to have a memory like this so closely tied in with this whole other set of memories. I am not in the zone on this game today. I am not anywhere near the zone. The moment this game starts, it is a particularly dangerous situation for Miss Pac-Man if I am on the joystick that day. Okay. Playing a little bit better. Alright. Definitely an improvement. Oh! Strawberry, come back here. Not done with you yet. Ooh. No. Alright. Clear those last two dots off the bottom half of the board. And let's just clear the board. Far too dangerous without any power pellets. Oh, no. What a rookie mistake that was. I just psyched myself out big time. Alright, so there you go. A little bit of Miss Pac-Man and a little bit of detective work on figuring out the first time I ever played this game and what else was going on in the world around me at the time. It's just a weird thing, kind of sifting through your memory like that, and hope you enjoyed taking the trip with me.